Hello and welcome to Nice and Blunt. My name is Adam Riancho and it's Saturday morning, August 10th, 10:35 a.m. Pacific time. Let's hop into a draft. Let's go. Oh no, I wanted the intro. Give me Let me redo that. Let me redo that. Oh shit, no. Let me redo that. I can't redo it while God damn. I'm leaving it in. I'm leaving it. I'm not going to edit that out later on. But okay, so before we hop in, just reminder, there are some preseason games going on, and this one I think is very, very interesting. This Chicago Bears versus Buffalo Bills matchup. We'll see if they play into the second quarter at all, but the first quarter is almost done. And so far, Caleb Williams has looked decent. He's led 2 field goal drives. Meanwhile, the Bills went 3 and out. And let's just look at the play-by-play real quick, because DeAndre Swift looked really good. DeAndre Swift ran for he had a 42-yard gain on 1st and 10. Real good, real nice to see. And then after that, they kind of benched him for Khalil Herbert. I don't think he's seen the ball since then. So DeAndre Swift, absolutely good to go, looking good. It looks like Khalil Herbert is the backup, but all of the passes that were connected on from Caleb Williams have gone to either DJ Moore or Cole Kmet. Kmet dropped the pass, but otherwise it's all going to DJ Moore, which is kind of what we expect. DJ Moore is definitely the alpha number one, especially with that new contract. That is the case. So that's good news. Josh Allen looks like he just completed a pass to Curtis Samuel for 15 yards. But otherwise, on that first drive, his first target was Khalil Shakir. So going to be a mix and match bevy of weapons with the Bills. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated throughout this video. Otherwise, the other game worth bringing up. I can't bring you any clips for copyright reasons, but the Jets and Commanders have taken off, and Jaden Daniels on his first drive of the game led a touchdown for the Washington Commanders against a somewhat decent Jets defense. I don't know how much we can read into it in the playoffs, but definitely impressive. His first big play was to De'Ami Brown for 42 yards. Brian Robinson got a lot of work. Austin Eckler also factored in a little bit, but it was mostly Brian Robinson, who I'm expecting to be the RB1 for Washington. So that's good news. And Jaden Daniels did run it in himself from the 3-yard line for that touchdown. So that's what I was kind of a little worried about from his game. I was a little worried that he would not get a lot of goal line rush attempts, and at least in the preseason, they're willing to do that. On his first drive, he scored a touchdown, so that's really nice. Otherwise, it's all been like punts. Tyrod Taylor is in at QB. Looks like he actually got benched already for Peasley. I have no idea who A. Peasley is. He's definitely just a backup. But did Jaden Daniels play more than that? I don't think so. No, yeah, they already had Jeff Driscoll in. So not too much else to mention, but good to see everyone who's watching. What's up, Uzi? What's up, Fight Me? How y'all doing? I've had a good morning, and I went for a big walk this morning, and a lot of elevation around some hills where I live. And I'm gonna head out and do some work later. I was like, I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna do a draft, and I was like, why not stream it? Let's do that. So we're gonna hop in. We're going to join a marathon. You all know I'm gonna try and do this. Sometimes it takes a while to fill, but I think a good return on investment is very likely. Only a quarter of the entries have been taken so far. I do not think this tournament will fill. So if you do advance, you double your money. I'm on a 5-second delay, so enter right now if you want to join me, and I will hit the button in 3, 2, 1. Vámonos. $15 buy-in, 5 spots left. So hopefully we don't have to wait too long. If you do want to join me, you can claim your spot. But if y'all have any questions, let me know. Happy to answer anything. And I guess while we wait, we can also discuss, oh yeah, that Steelers game that took place yesterday. But let me just check in on that Bills matchup. What's going on? Bills are driving currently 2nd and 6. James Cook just ran for 4 yards. But Fight Me loves the preseason game updates. It's really cool how often you stream. After all, there's 7 days in a week for us all to think about football. Now that it's August, like, I'm kind of just like, why not just do it every day? I didn't do it Thursday, but I did 2 on Wednesday. And yeah, I'll definitely be on here a lot more frequently than I was in July when it was just like 3 days a week. Now that there's like legitimate news and like very important stuff to discuss, prepping all of us for our draft. But interesting pass directed towards Dawson Knox, incomplete, tipped at the line. Now Josh Allen scrambles for a first down, picks up 7 yards. But would love to watch that on the stream with y'all, but obviously I cannot. I'll get flagged for copyright. But I'll keep you updated. We are now waiting for 2 people in this lobby. So still 2 spots if you want to join me. Very soon will we get going with this draft. But yeah, there was also the Steelers game. There's also the Texans game. Surprisingly, like a lot of the Texans starters did play for a little bit. Not long. But Tank Dell did score a touchdown. I think it was the first. No, not the first. Wait, was it? No, a few punts early on. Second drive of the Texans. Tank Dell scored a 34-yard touchdown. So Tank Dell's back. 100% good to go. That's what I like to see. I'm very high on Tank Dell this season. One more spot in that draft, but there was a Justin Fields sighting. They did play with the starters. Najee Harris got some touches. Jaylen Warren also got some touches, but Justin Fields fumbled twice. That was not good. They recovered both of them. Neither were coughed up to the defense, but the fact that he fumbled twice, not great. Not ideal, but looks like this draft is full. We get pick 2. Let's go. Love me some pick 2. I've mentioned lately, gotten a lot of late picks, but yesterday's draft, today's draft, we get a pick 1, now pick 2. We are in business. That's exciting, and nice to see Slim Jim Betts in this draft. I believe that's you, Uzi. Pretty sure. Recognize your name. Fight Me. I don't know if I've drafted with you. I feel like you're always watching, or a lot of times you're watching, but I'm not sure if you have drafted, or maybe I'm just forgetting. I could be wrong, but you're saying Diggs looks really fast on that Tank Dell touchdown play. I just happened to notice that. Yeah, that's good news. I'm gonna need to watch a little more in depth all of these like first quarters, but I've been mainly looking at like what I've shown you, these play-by-play recaps for the most part. I did watch a little bit of Justin Fields. Those fumbles, not great, but I'm on the clock here. Oh, wow. Tyreek Hill goes 1. Shit. Do I go CeeDee Lamb? Nah. I'm a little overweight CeeDee Lamb. I'm just going to go Christian McCaffrey. Just going to go CMC. Let's stick with it. But Diggs was already complaining on the sideline with Stroud. Of course he was. Of course. But Fight Me, not able to get into the drafts because of my work schedule, but I love watching people draft. Maybe in future years, I'll become more of a best ball bro. No problem, man. No worries. I assume maybe it was like, perhaps you live in like a state where it's not viable, but you know, you're probably saving yourself a lot of money. Probably the right decision. No worries, man. None at all. But excited that you're in the subscriber league. Very excited for that. Almost everyone's made their buy-in. If you're watching this either right now or later on, I think there's 2 people still in the subscriber league that have not paid me, but they were in last year. I trust that they will pay. I'm not worried about it at the moment, but I may call you out a little bit more as we approach the deadline. I may be a little more vocal about getting those buy-ins in, but otherwise 10 other people, including myself, have already paid. All good. Someone wants to say hi. Someone's here to say hi. Say hello. Hi. Princess Leia is here on the desk. She is here. Hello. You want some attention? Yeah, I was gone this morning. Oh, hello. Hello. Okay, let's get back to the... Nope. Now that I don't want it, now it's back. A little mishap at the beginning without the intro. Was expecting it. Wasn't there. But we're good. In this marathon draft, I feel like having Christian McCaffrey is definitely a little more ideal. As long as he stays healthy, you know. You are locked into so much volume, so much production, and you don't have to draft like a ton of running backs either. You can get away with having some lack of depth when you have CMC. But so far, I feel like the big, weird draft pick in this draft would be Tyreek Hill at number 1. But that's fine. CMC, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar, Amon-Ra, Justin Jefferson, Bijan, Breece Hall. Everything's chalk up to that point, pretty much. A.J. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs goes at 10. Garrett Wilson at 11. Jonathan Taylor at 12. Debo at 13. Devon Achane at 14. Waddle at 15. That's interesting. Cooper Kupp at 16, followed by Marvin Harrison, Puka Nacua. So Marvin Harrison falls in this draft. Puka also falls considerably. A lot of confidence in Cooper Kupp at pick 16. Wow. Bold pick. I get it, but wow, Uzi, you get Puka at 18. What a value. I think he'll be fine. It's not great to be drafting, injured players, but yeah. When he falls like that, take him. Go ahead and take him. But, oh boy, I'm going to be compelled to consider Brandon Ayuk here, aren't I? I'm sure it's going to be a decision at 26. And there's some positive news there. At least for me. I'm going to go Nico Collins here. Far more upside than Chris Olave, for sure. Definitely take Nico Collins. Falling 3 picks as well. Yeah, let's go. But Ayuk has re-engaged in contract talks. Reportedly, the Niners are at least trying to get that back underway. There was some pushback on the Ayuk side, however, saying that's kind of cap. But I think they're kind of in a whole... Oh, damn. I'm very tempted to take Ayuk here, but until it's locked in, I'm not like feeling safe about it. I already have a ton of Ayuk. I'm gonna go Chris Olave, who falls 5 picks as well. Nico Collins, Chris Olave combo. Let's do it. I prefer Nico over Olave straight up, but I definitely prefer Olave over the other receivers available. If you told me Ayuk does stay in San Francisco, I may have made a bad pick. I prefer Ayuk straight up over Olave in that circumstance, but it's just up in the air at the moment. It's not guaranteed. I already have McCaffrey. I don't need the stack combo, but I will go with Chris Olave here, falling to 26. Bite Me is asking, do the Niners have the ability contract-wise to do to Ayuk what the Bengals did to T. Higgins and franchise him to avoid paying him? Not this year. He's on the 5th year of his contract. They would be able to franchise tag him next season, but not this year. So that is the conundrum. And even in that scenario, like, he'd probably be pushing for a trade, vocalizing his displeasure just as much, and I doubt they'll be in that situation next year. It's kind of rare that players are forced to play out their 5th year option at the receiver spot when, like, you're going to pay them, like look at CeeDee Lamb right now, like, you expect him to get paid, you expect him to get the the contract. Jamar Chase, I believe, is in the same situation. Was Chase drafted in the same class? I feel like Chase was a year after them. I could be mistaken, but no, they cannot franchise tag Ayuk at the moment. They can play hardball and just say, look, you're under contract for 14 mil. Play or get fined. And I'm hoping they just force the issue and make him stay. That's what I want to see. I really don't want to see Ayuk on another team. I'm too invested in Ayuk. I've got like 16% Ayuk. 13. No, I think another 16% of Brock Purdy, and Purdy definitely takes a hit without Ayuk on the field as well. So I am really hopeful that things do go my way. What I want to see happen is him stay in San Francisco. But here we'll pull up the news blurbs. Let's mention it. So 19 hours ago, by NBC Sports, why Ayuk 49ers might have no choice but to work out extension. These are just headlines. I'm not going to read the full articles. But 14 hours ago, Brandon Ayuk trade rumors, Browns offered. Okay, we already know this. But 21 hours ago, Niners pushing to get long-term extension done with Ayuk. That's really good. 41 minutes ago, Rappaport. What does he say? That's the most up-to-date. This is from SteelersDepot.com. Steelers have made strong trade and contract offers to 49ers Brandon Ayuk, but we already knew that. That's not really changing what we know. What's important to note is that the Niners have re-engaged in contract talks. So Ayuk falls to pick 30. That might be the steal of this draft, because I legitimately think that even if Debo's healthy, I feel like Ayuk is worth a top of the second round pick. And to get him mid-third, just so fucking valuable. It could be a terrible pick as well. It could still be overpriced. If he does go to Pittsburgh, that's not good. I think I'd probably prefer him over Michael Pittman, but I think I'd rather have DJ Moore. I have Metcalf and Devontae ranked above DJ Moore as well. I think Ayuk would slot in around the Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Michael Pittman area if he was a Steeler. That feels like the tier I'd put him in. But running back, highly coveted in this lobby. Not a big surprise, but Pickens currently still on the board. But I think I know exactly where I'm going to go here, barring a snipage. Nope, I do not get sniped, so I will go Lamar Jackson. And as long as this team does not go Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, I will be getting a stack here. I don't know if the stack is as critical in the marathon. It's nice, but yeah, I'm getting one of these Ravens with this pick. I'd prefer Andrews, I think. Andrews was in line for 11 touchdowns last season if he stayed healthy. On pace to be the tight end 1 if he had stayed healthy. And I still think he's the preferred guy in the red zone. I'm going to go Mark Andrews here. Pass on Zay Flowers. Flowers has been falling, not just in this format, but in general. Interesting to note. But I'd rather have this elite tight end than my third receiver at the moment. I can still get good receivers at 71, 74. And now I have like tremendous flexibility where I can get a ton of running backs and wide receivers the rest of the way. Not have to worry too much about my QB and tight end depth when I have Lamar and Andrews. So love that value. Love it. And I do prefer Andrews over Trey McBride. That is my stance on it. But stack attack, let's fucking go. Okay, let's chime back into the preseason games. At this point, it's the second quarter in that Bills game, and Trubisky is back in. Is now in. Um, what's the deal here? Trubisky got the last drive. After the first quarter, that drive continued and they went with Trubisky. They benched Allen. So that makes sense. That's viable to do. Trubisky led them to a field goal. Pass to Kincaid, pass to Shakir, pass to Shakir. Scrambles. Ray Davis for 1 yard. Trubisky pass to Keon Coleman. Trubisky completing a lot of passes. Incomplete to Quentin Morris. No worries about that. Ray Davis for no gain. Ray Davis not really picking up much yardage. Trubisky pass to Curtis Samuel. Ray Davis for another no gain. Jesus, Ray Davis, get it together, bro. Trubisky incomplete to Keon Coleman. Incomplete to Keon Coleman on 3rd and goal. And a Tyler Bass short chip shot field goal is good. So Trubisky, decent, but does not score a touchdown. We will see what the Bears do. They're going to be back on the field after this timeout. Kickoff just happened. We'll see if Caleb Williams is still in the game. I doubt it. What team am I a fan of? Personally, you are a Ravens fan. I'm a Charger fan. It's a very sad existence. Bit of a cursed experience. It's kind of a weird path for me to like reach this Chargers fandom. Like I grew up here in LA when we didn't have a team. So when I was very young, didn't know who to root for. My uncle is the one who introduced me to watching football when I was very young, and he's from Maine. So I was watching that Patriots dynasty back in the early 2000s, and I grew up with Tom Brady, and I was a Patriot fan for like 10 years. Then as I grew older and I started to watch just more on my own, I kind of drifted away from the Patriots a little bit. I kind of liked the Broncos for a while. I was kind of like not really fixated on a team. When I really became like a true like NFL fan is when I started playing fantasy football my senior year of high school. And that's when like I really got into the game a lot more. But I'll continue this story after I make this pick. The team after me, they only have one running back, I think. So I'm going to go with James Conner here. I will take James Conner. I think the receivers are all kind of equally as valuable. They have 3 receivers, only 1 running back. I'm going to avoid getting sniped on the guy I want. I'm going to go James Conner. But so I started playing fantasy football around like 2011. And that's when like I just really liked rooting for individual players more so than like teams. But in college, my first year of college, I went to the University of San Diego and I started to kind of like the Chargers a little bit. Then I transferred to a school in Boston, Emerson College. And hold on, let's make the pick. I want to go Lad McConkey. I'm very tempted to go McConkey. But Deontay's on the board. Nah, my heart says McConkey. Let's go with Lad McConkey. Let's stick with it. Let's go with Chargers over the Panthers. That feels like a better investment overall. But yeah, so then I transferred to Boston, lived in Boston for a while, and that was during like the free Brady era. That's when he got like suspended and they were winning championships again. But like being around Patriots fans, like, oh my God, it's a little obnoxious. So that kind of turned me off to like really rooting for the Patriots. But once I moved back to LA, shortly after that, the Rams moved here. A year later, the Chargers moved here, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna root for a hometown team now. And with my San Diego connection, I was a little more fond of the Chargers, not as much as the Rams. And like, I'm already a Laker fan. I'm a Dodger fan. They've had a long track record of success. I mean, the Lakers had a really rough stint after Kobe left. I mean, even his later years, they were terrible until LeBron came. But overall, like they're kind of front runners. Like the Dodgers have been so successful, maybe not like in the playoffs, but They win so many divisions, like almost year over year. At the moment, they have Otani, they got Mookie Betts, they got really good depth everywhere. They have what, Freddie Freeman? Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Another fucking, they just have a stacked roster every fucking year. So I kind of was like, let me root for the underdog a little bit. Like here in LA, you have like the choice of like, do you take the stud? Are you a fan of the stud team, or are you a fan of the underdog that's like kind of like the younger brother a little bit? You can go with the Lakers or the Clippers. Fuck fuck the Clippers. I feel like the only people that root for the Clippers are people who moved here and they grew up somewhere where they like hated the Lakers growing up. So like, well, if I'm gonna be an NBA fan in my new city of LA, I'm not gonna join the Lakers bandwagon. Let's root for the Clippers. That's a stupid decision. Fuck the Clippers. Or if you're a baseball fan, you can be like, well, I don't necessarily live in LA proper. Let's root for the Angels, but I remember when they were the Anaheim Angels and like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Like, what kind of a fucking name is that? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, there's no, I don't want to root for the Angels. Maybe if I lived in Orange County, I might consider the Angels. That's where Anaheim is. It's by Disneyland. So that's like an hour plus drive from where I live. So, yeah, I'm a Dodger, Laker fan. Had the choice of the Rams and the Chargers, and with my San Diego connection, I was like, let's be a Charger fan. It feels a little more appropriate. I don't. I like the Rams. They're fine. I enjoy watching them. I think if I didn't play fantasy football, I'd probably be a little bit more like focused on just one team. But the Rams are entertaining. They're good on offense. I like their weapons, but from like a standpoint of like how much money they have and like they're kind of more front runners for sure. I feel like it's a lot easier to be a Rams fan. The Chargers fan, they're very entertaining. They just choke away so many fucking games. It's like disgusting. But it's an emotional whirlwind, but there's excitement at the moment. We got Jim Harbaugh as the new coach. That's exciting. And I do think they'll kind of turn it around overall. But here on the clock, I'm going to go with Jalen Warren. I'm excited about the Steelers' run game. And I think Jalen Warren is the safest bet here. Going to see a lot of targets this year. I'm going to go Jalen Warren. Again, kind of like the last time when I took James Conner. This team still only has one running back. I don't want to get sniped on the guy I want the most. So I'm going to skip over wide receiver, and I'm going to take my preferred running back. Prevent a snipage. And Dodgers doing well this year, as they usually are. And with Otani, he's not pitching yet, but, you know, very excited to see what they can do in the playoffs. I'm really tempted to go David Njoku here. Very, very tempted. Kind of want to do it, but I do need receiver kind of badly. I think it's probably wiser to invest in some receiver depth. I'm going to go Josh Palmer. When I have Andrews, Njoku's a bit of a luxury pick, so I'll go Josh Palmer. I need a little more. And now I'm set up for a Justin Herbert stack. So, yeah, we're talking Chargers. I am a Charger fan. Let's commit to it a little bit more in this lobby, in this draft. We get both of the Chargers receivers. I think you want these receivers. At price, I think they are at worst being drafted at their floor. So, love that. But do a tier list of bad names. I mean, the Commanders has to be up there. The Commanders, like, I know it's Washington, D.C., but, like, we're not a dictatorship, you know? Like, fuck you, Dan Snyder. You can't command anyone to do shit. Fuck that. Commanders. They were better as the Washington football team. Also, like, Chargers is not the best name. Like, if we're being honest, like, it's interesting, you know, like, I like their, like, lightning logo, but, like, now I just think of, like, a phone charger. Plug it in, plug it in. It's not the best name, but, you know, what can you do? It's not an animal, at least. Like, animals are fine, but, they're not like, ooh, the Eagles. Like, okay, that's great. But, like, the Dolphins, okay. Dolphins are really smart, but um, I kind of like when teams are like this more like abstract thing sometimes, but uh, yeah, the LA phone chargers, the USB-C cables, the iPhone chargers, lightning bolt cables. uh, that's what they should pivot to, the phone chargers. But let's see. Patriots are a decent name. Buffalo Bills, that's a good name. New York Jets. I mean, it's kind of ironic that like there's the New York Jets and like the most memorable moment of New York in the last 20 years has involved two jet planes. We will always remember, never forget. But yeah, we can make fun of 9/11 a little bit at this point. Like I'm somewhat patriotic. I'm happy to live here. We have our issues, but compared to most countries, like there's a lot of other problems elsewhere. I'm happy to be an American. That's for sure. The European mind cannot comprehend what we are currently doing at the moment with this NFL fantasy football draft. The European mind cannot understand at all. Uh, they cannot firmly grasp it at all. But um, what are we talking about? Who are we targeting with this next pick? Absolutely a Jerome Ford selection if available. Would love me a Jerome Ford pick. Coming up. Also be happy with Brandon Cooks here. I'm not going to reach on a tight end, that's for sure. Have no stacking options with T-Law, Tua, or Jared Goff. We'd be more interested in Herbert, but we might miss out on Herbert. He would need to fall almost 10 picks. Maybe I should take Herbert. I don't need him, but it might be wise. This guy should be going quarterback. He's got none at this point. Yeah, he goes T-Law. We're going to go Jerome Ford for sure. I'm a big fan of Jerome Ford this year. I think he's a top 30 running back. So we're pretty loaded at RB at the moment. We got McCaffrey, James Conner, Jalen Warren, Jerome Ford. When healthy, James Conner is a fucking stud. James Conner can put up 15 points per game when healthy. It's really just a question of does he get hurt early enough for Trey Benson to really kneecap his fantasy value? That's the big concern. But as much as I want to go with Herbert here, I think it's not the best selection. There's not a ton of volume headed for Brandon Cooks, but we took McCaffrey in round 1. I need receivers. I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks here. I think he's the best option. I could consider Mike Williams for sure, but Mike Williams is a little more injury prone. I'm going to go Brandon Cooks, who has the fast track to be the number 3 target, excuse me, in Dallas. I think he is definitely behind Jake Ferguson. Ferguson had more targets last year as well, so that's definitely the case. This team at 3 has CeeDee Lamb. They might have considered a Brandon Cooks pick, but I need receiver, so let's go with that. We've got 4 running backs. We can probably cool it for a while. We might only need 5 on this team. We got McCaffrey, James Conner, Jalen Warren, Jerome Ford. I like the depth at running back. Receiver's a little bit thin, but having both Chargers, I think, is a good strategy. We got Nico Collins, Chris Olave, McConkey, Palmer, and Brandon Cooks. And then we also have the Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews stack at QB tight end. So I like this team, definitely solid. And the beauty of this tournament, let's remind you real quick, the marathon, you are in the playoffs week 1. You are instantly in contention for the payouts. At the moment, there are not even 38,000 entrants. They were expecting 150. And the top, what is it? We got to scroll down. The top 23,000 out of 38 double their money on the entry. So currently, if nobody else entered this tournament, you have a 61% chance of at least getting $30 back on this $15 buy-in. You have a 13% chance of getting $45, and you have a 5% chance of getting $60, quadrupling your buy-in, 2.5% chance of getting $75, and then obviously it goes up from there. If you finish top 100, you get $1,000. If you finish top 10, you get $20K, and then first prize gets $300K. The marathon is a great investment to make. I think at the moment, like as much as BBM Best Ball Mania has like really good payouts, it's very tempting to do that. It's a $25 buy-in. You can do 3 of these marathons and still have $5 left over, compared to 2 Best Ball Mania buy-ins, and you have far, far higher chances of getting some of that money back, if not more. So at least from like a safety net standpoint, the marathon is a really good tournament to enter. But I say that and trying to incentivize you to join it, although I don't want people to be hopping into this tournament. I want my chances to remain high. But even if there's like 50,000 entrants, that's probably what's going to happen. You have a 50% chance at doubling your money, turning 15 into 30. So that's pretty solid odds. But ooh, I have a very legit shot to get my Herbert stack here. We've got 2 more picks before ours. These teams have Burrow and Trevor Lawrence. I'd probably get sniped on Herbert, most likely. But it was worth passing on him. We got a good shot here to get him. Mooney goes, let's go. Let's take the Herbert stack for sure. I would have probably taken Mooney if I got sniped on Herbert. Kind of the best receiver left available. But we're set up for the stack. Let's fucking go. We got Herbert, McConkey, and Palmer. Let's go. What are the news on Kirk Cousins? Said I'll be ready for week 1. That's great. Stafford not in line to play in preseason. That's good. We don't need to see Stafford in the preseason. Very unnecessary. Okay. I need receiver badly. So I really wanted Mooney, honestly. It's not the best situation to be in. I don't want one of those Panthers receivers, so not great. I'm going to take Michael Wilson. I could definitely go with one of these running backs, but I'm already pretty loaded at that position. I don't need one of these running backs. They're kind of just like icing on the cake. And the one I would probably want to take would be J.K. Dobbins, and Dobbins isn't even on the board. Dobbins went 133, so gonna pass on running back. Need receiver depth. We've got Lamar Jackson stacked up with Mark Andrews. I got Justin Herbert double stacked with McConkey and Palmer. At RB, I got CMC, James Conner, Jalen Warren, Jerome Ford. Really like the running back situation. Wide receiver, though, a little bit thin, but has some decent value on it. Nico Collins, Chris Olave, Lad McConkey, Josh Palmer, Brandon Cooks. We did reach kind of heavily on Michael Wilson, but if Ayuk is going to stay in San Francisco, then Pearsall is risky. Pearsall's also been injured this preseason. Shoulder injury resurfacing. He's been on the non-football injury list. A little bit worried about Pearsall here. Rookies sometimes start slow. If Ayuk does stay there, then not the safest selection. But J Money, any hype on Brandon Rice coming out of Chargers camp? Not that I've heard of. Like, not like crazy. Let's see if there's anything here. It doesn't look like it. No. I kind of feel like Brandon Rice, like, I know he's Jerry Rice's son, but I feel like people are just like leaning into that as a reason to hype him up. I actually can feel like there's an opportunity for Cornelius Johnson to be involved. And most people don't know who that is at all. But Cornelius Johnson, let's pull up his player profiler page. Played for Michigan, knows this Jim Harbaugh offense, and wasn't that bad last year. He was the wide receiver 2 behind Roman Wilson for Michigan last year. He played 5 years in college. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Yeah, he was a 5th-year senior at Michigan, and he's played there all 5 years. He's very aware of the Jim Harbaugh approach. He's a big guy, 6'3", 212 pounds, 31 inches. Drafted also in the 7th round. Actually, it says that he went undrafted. I'm pretty sure he was a 7th-round pick. I guess I'm wrong. But nobody fucking ever brings him up. I understand why. But runs a 4.44, and in terms of weight-adjusted speed score, that's 95th percentile. He's a fast motherfucker. 23 years old. Really good catch radius, 79th percentile. That's pretty solid. And last 2 years at Michigan, last 3 years, 2 of them with over 600 receiving yards. 2 years ago, 6 touchdowns. Last year, only 1 touchdown. That's not great, but I do feel like he has a shot to also be involved, similar to Brandon Rice. So people never bring him up, but I think he is kind of interesting. And oh shit, Pearsall just gets sniped. Damn it, I would have taken Pearsall for sure at 167, but bummer there. I'm going to go Isaiah Likely here. Just shore up this Baltimore tight end situation. Also, there's reports that Isaiah Likely is going to be involved in this offense to a pretty high degree. He might be their 3rd receiving weapon behind Andrews and Zay Flowers. But yeah, I had a feeling this team was going to go tight end. So I'd rather have Isaiah Likely than Cade Otton for sure. Way more upside, especially with Lamar on my team. Yeah, we get a double receiver stack with Herbert. We get a double tight end stack with Lamar. That feels nice. And I'm tempted to go Bateman here, but there's not a lot of passing volume in Baltimore. I think I'd rather go with Demarcus Robinson. I'm really high on Demarcus Robinson. I think Robinson is my most drafted player overall. Do we go Demarcus or do we go DJ Chark? Just further commit to the Chargers. Fuck it, I'm going to go DJ Chark. All in on this Chargers stack, baby. If there's a week where McConkey and Palmer don't score any touchdowns, kind of fade, it's because DJ Chark is more likely to step in. So, yeah, triple stack with the Chargers. Passing on Demarcus Robinson. Might regret a little bit in the long run, but we got the stack set up. Let's fucking go. Let's go. I'm going to need one more tight end, I think. When I take Likely, that's probably a wise investment. In the marathon, it's good to invest in 3 at one of these positions. I think I'm going to skip out on the 3rd QB. I'm going to stick with just Lamar and Herbert. Running back, I need one more, but not dying for them to be like heavy contributors. I would definitely consider Khalil Herbert here. He looks like the backup. Maybe they're just trying to make him look good in the preseason so somebody trades for him. That's also possible. But at the moment, he was clearly the backup behind DeAndre Swift in today's game. How's that game going, by the way? Bajent is in. Did we have any second quarter action from Caleb? No. Bajent was in as soon as they pivoted to the second quarter. So nothing really worth noting there. I doubt Jaden Daniels played more than a quarter. No, yeah, we already know that he was benched for Jeff Driscoll. So, yeah, nothing really to note in the remainder of the preseason. At least at the moment. There's plenty of other games. But we brought that up at the top of the video. You can either scroll back and watch that if you're really interested, or just wait for this live stream to be over and replay it once we're done drafting. We'll be done soon. We only have 3 more picks. I don't think I'm going to be doing a second one. I've got some things to tend to this afternoon. But so far, I like the team. We've got 7 receivers at the moment. I definitely need an 8th. We're locked into 1 more running back, 1 more wide receiver, 1 more tight end the rest of this draft. Done at QB. Demarcus Robinson falling. Interesting. And Uzi, you pass on him as well. You've got some good receivers of your own, though. Puka, Metcalf, Rasheed, Odunze at a good value. Sutton, Judy, Adonai Mitchell. You needed tight end. DeMarcus sniped as well. Kind of a bummer. But here I am on the clock thinking about Tyrone Tracy. But I think maybe Jordan Mason's there. Worth investing in. I'm going to go Malachi Corley. Yeah, I think Corley has fallen too far. Corley's really talented. I liked Corley a lot coming into the draft. So he's been falling for not really sure why, but maybe justified reasons. We'll see what happens there. But I do see a lot of checkdowns for him from Aaron Rodgers. I think he'll have some value. Let's go Corley. Tight ends. Who do I want at tight end? Not too many I'm like dying to have, but kind of interested in Juwan Johnson. And then running back is dicey. Did Lauby already get taken? Lauby went at 184. Wow. I'm going to go Juwan Johnson. Give me Juwan. You know Juwana. Yeah, that's my 3rd tight end. We're done there. I think there will be some flex value with my depth at tight end here. I think there will be some weeks where I get some roster involvement from multiple tight ends with my build. But here's the team at QB. I got Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, running back Christian McCaffrey, James Conner, Jalen Warren, Jerome Ford. We need 1 more running back. We'll see who it is. Wide receiver, though, I got Nico Collins, Chris Olave, Ladd McConkey, Josh Palmer, Brandon Cooks, Michael Wilson, DJ Chark, and Malachi Corley. Bit of a reach on Michael Wilson, but that was a rough part of the draft. We got sniped on Darnell Mooney. So it is what it is. But almost got Ricky Pearsall at 167. That would have been nice. But receiver's fine. Could be better. But some high upside with Nico Collins. Some good floor plays with Olave, McConkey, and Palmer. And I'm just trying to keep it chugging at that position. It's not the strength of this team, but I think there is solid depth there. Decent amount of touchdowns should be scored by these receivers. But tight end, very good, very solid. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and Juwan Johnson. I like that. And running back, very strong with the 4 that we have in CMC, Connor, Warren, and Ford. Also some double stacks. So a triple stack with the Chargers receivers. We got the 3 starters with Herbert. That's pretty nice. But at the moment, Jordan Mason still on the board. That might be where I go, just to lock up any injury risk with McCaffrey. He's looking like he might be the backup. Working with starters 2 days ago, getting regular first-team reps while McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell recover from injuries. The opportunity is particularly interesting because there were reports of Mason challenging Mitchell for the second spot on the depth chart even before Mitchell and McCaffrey suffered their respective injuries. Mitchell's speed and running ability are proven commodities, but Mason may have advantages in terms of pass blocking and receiving skills, and nearly any player has the edge over Mitchell when it comes to durability. Mayoko notes that Mason has greatly improved his route running and hands, making a case to be more involved on offense after taking nearly 3/4 of his snaps on special teams the past 2 years. That said, the injuries to McCaffrey and Mitchell aren't considered serious, so it's still possible Mason enters week 1 mostly playing special teams. The Niners backfield also has rookie 4th-round pick Isaac Guerendo, who has missed all of training camp with a hamstring injury. So Mason's the healthiest guy they have. They brought in Matt Breida. I think that's a very good sign. We will see some backup involvement in San Francisco, but it's kind of just an insurance play. Yeah, we'll go with Jordan Mason. Let's do it. Let's do it. Kind of like our likely pick, as well as our Chargers receivers investments, just insurance for the floor. Let's hope for the best. But that's going to be it for this video. This live stream is now over. Leia's back on the desk. She just hopped in. She can be in frame for the goodbye. And yeah, if you're new, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. And hit the like button as well. Oh, right. Uzi, you were in this draft as well. Thoughts on your team? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. You were at pick... Here we go. You're at pick 7. You've got Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Geno Smith at QB. So a lot of rushing upside. I love the Justin Fields selection. And Geno Smith at a good value. Really stacked it at quarterback. You only have 4 running backs, though. Bold strategy, especially in the marathon when like every single week is important. That's a little bit risky. You do have Bijan, though. That's nice. Kamara's pretty solid, but he is a bit older. DeAndre Swift looked good in the preseason, but kind of a risky bet to stay healthy throughout his career. Last year, he did play all 17 games, but it was a contract season. That's my kind of concern here so far. I haven't looked at your receivers, but yeah, I kind of wish you had a 5th running back here. A little bit shaky. Chuba should have good value early in the season, so he's a great pick in this format when all of those points are viable, but I'm a little bit concerned in, his late season production once Brooks gets healthy. So I do wish you had a 5th running back. The 3rd quarterback, a little bit of a luxury, but let's see how the rest of the roster is. Wide receiver Puka Nacua at a great value. DK Metcalf at a very good value as well. Rashee Rice a little bit above ADP. For the marathon, I think I'd rather get Rashee Rice after ADP, honestly. Like, because of the suspension, that's still possible. A little bit worried about that, but if I'm wrong about that, then that's definitely a great pick. Rome Odunze, after ADP, rookies sometimes start slow, but great player. I believe in him. Like him a lot. Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, A.D. Mitchell, Javon Baker. There has been some hype on Javon Baker in camp so far, but oh shit, you can't even see me. Yikes. Tight end though, Dallas Goedert, Jonnu Smith, Chico Conquo. Yeah, I think I'd rather skip out on one of these quarterbacks for a running back. With Goddard as your number 1, I think you can justify the 3rd. I mean, I took 3 and I have Andrews. Yeah, I think Either instead of Javon Baker or instead of Geno Smith, I'd rather have another running back. That's the only criticism. Otherwise, it's a pretty good team. There's some stacks with Geno and DK. Fields is unstacked, but oh no, he has Goddard. You have Goddard. You do have a stack there. And then Fields appears to be unstacked, but yeah, not the end of the world at all. Good team. Just wish you had a fifth running back. That's all. Nice job. Yeah, that's it for the video now, and I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow, maybe, most likely on Monday, but maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But you're welcome. And Uzi just said thanks. It's not showing up on this version. But I'm not just saying like you're welcome for no reason. There it is. Yeah. Hope you all have a good weekend. Enjoy. Have a good one. Bye-bye.